Making my own Roblox game has been a dream of mine for years, but there is only one problem. I can't script. That's why I'm going to be learning Roblox scripting as a complete beginner, but there's a catch. I only have 24 hours to do so let's begin. I have some challenges I need to complete throughout the video to prove that I'm a worthy Roblox developer. These challenges get progressively harder throughout the video, so make sure you stay till the end to see the final product at the end of the video. So in hour 1, I started watching some complete beginner tutorials so I would become familiar with Roblox Studio. I found this tutorial made by Smarty RBX, which is the easiest beginner guide to scripting. So my plan was to watch through all of this and then try and make something out of it, but I kind of got distracted halfway through. And you'll see what I mean later in the video. Now following along the tutorial, I was trying to make a part appear in Studio without actually placing it in Studio, if that makes sense. But for some reason, I just couldn't get this to work. I tried copying his scripts and for some reason it just wouldn't work for me until I found out that I had made the stupidest mistake ever. The part was underneath the spawn pads, so I couldn't see the part when I was loading into the game. And I spent around 30 minutes trying to figure out why. Next, I wanted to change the properties of the part, such as its transparency, anchor property, and can collide, which basically means can you walk through the part or not. Then I found a cool line of code which is called task wait, which pauses the code for however long you want. In this example, I chose 5 seconds. I wanted to make the part collidable after 5 seconds, but it didn't work. Can you spot the mistake in my code? So I thought I would use an if statement to check my code by printing a line of code in the output. This basically means if my part is changed to collidable, then the if statement will print out in the output box, part is collidable. But if it didn't work, then nothing would show there. Luckily this actually worked, but later on I went back through my code and changed one boolean value and now it works. Now I wanted to change the color of my part to be red. This was easy because it was literally in the tutorial video that I was watching. Now I tried some else if statements, which is kind of connected to the if statement in a way, and it worked. Then I got bored and wanted to complete one of my challenges I set at the start of the video. I wanted to create something by myself from scratch. So my idea was a door that would be controlled by a button that opens and closes. So I got to work. I quickly made this script and added a click detector inside of a button, creating this script and using a function. And then voila, the door was created. I added a button on the other side to make it passable in 2 different ways by simply just copying the code and changing one of the variable values. I finally got the door working, as you can see. In hour 3, I started trying to script another small feature, this being a kill brick. Now it did show me in the tutorial I was watching, but I wanted to try and figure it out myself. It was actually pretty easy, but at first it didn't work. So I debugged the code using the output box, and then I got it to work, as you can see. I was actually pretty proud of myself for making something without any tutorial in Studio. I moved on to while loops. If you do while true do, then this will infinitely run the while loop. I added an x and a y variable and added random.math to generate the part within a negative 100 to 100 radius. But little did I know this would break my entire studio, so let's just run the code quickly. So after my studio crashing, I figured out that you needed task.wait because my game was trying to spawn parts infinitely all at the same time. After adding task.wait, my code didn't really work. It kind of just spawned all the parts in a pile. So then I had to do a part position vector, which I placed within a 50 stud radius. Then I tried to make the part color go red, but it didn't work for some reason and I still don't understand why. So please let me know down in the comments if you do know. But yeah, we finally made it rain parts. I wanted to make it so when you touched the part would destroy, meaning it would just disappear. But after about an hour of figuring out how to do this, I just couldn't do it, so I just ended up giving up. But 24 hours is not enough time to learn Studio to the fullest, so if you do want to see another video like this, of me doing this for 7 days, then do leave a like and subscribe. Now I wanted to try and make my very own game, with the limited knowledge that I've learned from watching one tutorial, and trying to retain all of that information. So I want to make my game a little bit like Bubblegum Simulator. That game has just came out and it's doing mad numbers at the minute, so I want to try and do that but with candy instead. Obviously, it won't be as good, but this could be my little project for building my knowledge on Studio. Because from what I know, simulators aren't that complicated to make. How I managed to make a leader stats completely from scratch after a little bit of trial and error. But yeah, I did manage to make some leader stats, which was pretty cool. But yeah, I made 2 variables, one called candy and one called coins. At the moment, this does not save, and when I was doing my research, this isn't the best way to make leader stats, so I will be redoing this with a module script, I'm pretty sure what it's called. Correct me if I'm wrong, using some libraries. That's too advanced for me at the minute, so we're just sticking to the traditional leader stats. And then I had to figure out a way how to gain the candy. Now, I wanted to do it so when you click your left mouse button, you would gain 1 candy point. But I'm not gonna lie, after trying this for I don't even know how long, I just couldn't really do it, so I went to look for some help on some dev forums and a few YouTube tutorials. But then I figured out how to do it by myself, with a little bit of help, give or take. Now I had to make a remote event in replicated storage, which was called give candy, and then basically fire that event, and then put +1 candy. But after that, it finally worked, so I could gain candy inside of my game. So that was around 5 to 6 hours of studio grinding. So if you do want to see this but for a week, then please make sure to go down there, subscribe and like the video. But I'll see you in the next one. So, goodbye.